Welcome, citizens of the world, and today our adventure begins. And what an adventure it shall be. But first, I'd like to introduce myself. Hello there. Waving, okay. I am Akash. I am a 17-year-old, well, technically 17 and a quarter if we want to get all into the months and such, but hi, this is my vlog. And vlog, of course, meaning video blog for those of you who don't know the hip tech terms, I suppose. This is a video, clearly, welcome, hello. And this is my blog. Now, I know that generally blogs are a little bit more structured, I suppose. They have topics, right? Like maybe there's a blog on music or fashion or art or etc. Things, very specific kind of topics. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to firstly introduce the idea of why I wanted to have this vlog. And that's what really we're going to be discussing in this video. So I don't have a specific pinpoint, idea that I'm going to be discussing throughout. It's going to be more about a vlog on life in general, about ideas, stories, philosophies, passions, lessons, anything really that comes up that's going through my head that I find interesting, that I want to capture forever in the internet, and I want to share with you. So I hope you'll enjoy it. I hope I'll enjoy it, and I hope we all get something out of it. I hope that together we can learn and reflect and have a great, better lifestyle. And in a way, I'm kind of trying to emulate TED Talks. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, and if you're not, I would highly recommend TED Talks. They are fantastic. So what is a TED Talk? Essentially, this organization called TED or TED Talks or whatever their official name is, gets very powerful, passionate, creative, inspiring speakers, people, to speak at their conferences about ideas, philosophies. There's something for everyone, really, and I think that's one of the biggest appeals. If you're into science, if you're into philosophy, if you're into psychology, if you just want to know some tips to how to live a happier, a healthier, a more successful life, they have literally a huge variety of possible videos and tips and important messages that they're trying to spread. It's about spreading ideas. An idea worth spreading is their logo. And the reason I mention it, firstly, to make sure that any of you who haven't already caught on to the TED trend, like go TED.com right now and find some great videos. There's Steve Jobs, there's Bill Gates, there's less known people who are also have such wonderful ideas, such meaningful ideas. So that's the first reason I brought it up. But the second reason is that that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm going for not one particular topic, but an overall set of ideas and ideas worth spreading, really. That's what this is going to be. And so I thought I'd start out with introducing a little bit more about what really inspired me to create this. And actually, for those of you who watch How I Met Your Mother, tune in, because that was one of the leading factors that led to my decision. Now, the How I Met Your Mother finale recently, I believe a few weeks ago, came out, and it stunned the audience, and not necessarily in a good way, because a lot of people loved it. Ooh, there's a bee. Bzz, bzz. Sporadicness. Okay. Where was I? The How I Met Your Mother finale recently came out, and it was very, very profound. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people hated it. I'm not really going to get into that. I'm not going to talk about, the episode too specifically. But what I am going to talk about is how it is inspiring and how it teaches a very essential lesson. So essentially, for those of you who aren't familiar with How I Met Your Mother, it's a show that follows a group of friends, and it explores their personal lives, basically, their relationships, their friendships, their struggles, and how they overcome normal problems. It's somewhat similar to the show Friends that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. It really just explores people's lives, and through their interactions with each other and interactions with others in the show, I think one of the biggest appeals is that the audience can really relate to a lot of the conflicts that go on. Anyways, I would definitely recommend the show if you haven't seen it. It's very humorous, and also it has the element of depth and, insightfulness, trying to teach things, trying to show how to deal with emotions and whatnot. It's a really good show. But my focus today is on the finale. For the first 9 seasons, for the entire show, what the show was about is the friends and how they interact with each other and the bonds that they make and how they're going to always be there for each other, really, and how strong and significant their love for each other is. And then the series finale kind of shatters that entire image. In the finale, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but in the finale, the kind of overarching theme is that everything that they knew, everything that they thought they loved, and everything about themselves and about each other that they really felt kept them whole and kept them together is completely thrown out. And each of them kind of goes on their own path. Each of them has their own experiences, independent of each other, independent of the group. The entire group essentially falls apart. They don't really hang out or talk to each other or really interact anymore. And each of them has extremely life-changing events and occurrences that kind of transform them into new people. Now, what's the relevance of all this? Like, I'm talking about this show, I'm talking about what I thought of it, what it inspired me to do. Essentially, we don't know what's going to happen. I think that was one of the key parts of the episode, that 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, I don't know where I'm going to be. And I don't think anyone could really say for sure where they're going to be and what's going to happen. And more importantly, how they are going to view things and view the world. One of the things I tried to do after the episode is I tried to think back 10 years ago. So I was 7 and a quarter. And I really could not remember how I viewed the world. And I would have loved to really be like, oh, young Akash, look at him thinking, analyzing the world. I wonder what I was even doing. Maybe like colors and basic numbers. And I wonder what I thought of things like nature, like religion, philosophy, anything really. Or even what I would just think about on a regular basis. And I can't. I really don't vividly remember that much from my childhood. And so from there I thought, well, 10 years, 20 years from now, I'm going to be a totally new person. And I think that each one of us is probably going to be significantly different than we are today. And based on that, I decided I really want to have a way to capture the now, capture what 17-year-old Akash is thinking about, is doing, his views on the world, everything like that. I want to record because there's a video, but okay, puns. But I want to record it and capture it, and so that when I'm 30 or 50 or 70 or 942, I can look back and think, oh wow, that's what I was like. And from that, I think there's a really, really important aspect of trying to understand who we were and, compare. Maybe I'll be like, oh wow, I was so silly in that regard, and oh, but I really liked that part of me, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's one of the primary reasons for this vlog, simply for myself to have a way to capture all of this wonderful charisma. And another key reason for it is to express my ideas to the world. To the world, it sounds so grand when, I'm going to check in a year and it's going to have 5 views, but regardless, to express my ideas, at least to this nice, lovely Macintosh camera that I'm projecting myself to, because I have a lot of, thoughts that maybe some people will find interesting, and hopefully I'll be able to help people too. That's a big thing with me. I think that morality itself is based on the idea of improving society and helping other people reach their fullest potential and all that jazz, making the world as happy as it can be. And that's going to be one of my key objectives of this adventure, as I call it. Now, the other thing I wanted to discuss, the other sort of key idea that I was inspired to do based on the How I Met Your Mother episode, was to express how important, how inspiring, and how influential other people have been. So far in life, 17 years of living, woo, there have been individuals who have been incredibly significant to my overall development and to my overall perception of myself and the world. And the How I Met Your Mother finale, of course, followed these 4 to 5 characters who changed each other's lives, who shaped each other's ideas and views and philosophies. And then it kind of, in the last episode, showed how they drifted apart. And how that's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, I view the first key moment in which I'm going to empathize with what happens to the characters in the show being my graduation from high school, which will be next year, obviously. And I think that's going to be the first point of life in which everything that, I thought I knew and everything that my whole world essentially changes. And I think there are several points in life in which that type of experience happens. And for the characters in the show, it was overall them just developing their careers and family lives more and not having time for the people who they loved in the past. Now, I want to always remember the people who I loved in the past, or I guess now it would be considered the present. I think that being able to express my gratitude, my just showing thanks, and also telling people what they meant to me and what they mean to me is an extremely valuable experience, both for me and for them. So what I've started to do is I'm writing letters to the few individuals. There aren't going to be that many, but there are a few individuals who I view in my mind as having a major, profound impact on my life, and I want them to know it. And I think that everyone can kind of relate to some extent. I'm sure everyone has those individuals, whether it's family, close friends, teachers, etc., who have made a tremendous impact on them in some way or another. And I think that it's really important, both for you and for those people, to really embrace that, to capture it somehow, and to show it to them, show your gratitude in some way. And I chose letter writing for a few reasons. Firstly, that it's encaptured in writing, so it has the sense of permanency to it. It's always going to be there. 10 years from now, if I or the person I send the letter to wants to look back, they can literally see word for word what I felt. Secondly, because I'm not sure how much of it I'd be comfortable saying out loud, to be honest. I think writing is personal enough such that you can express your thoughts and feelings in a subjective and in a personal manner, but it's also kind of distant enough so that you can really get to what you're saying without ever feeling uncomfortable or without feeling awkward. Like, a lot of this is going to be very emotional, and I think writing can really capture that. And I would really encourage others to go through this, because I've written maybe 2 or 3 so far, and it's really been rewarding. And I see how I've changed the lives of others, and overall how I've developed thanks to other people. And one inspiration for this idea came over after the summer of 2013, it would be, because I went away over the summer on this tour of Oxford, basically. It was a study program and a tour of Oxford, and I met some really amazing people. But at the end of the summer, we all split our own ways, much like the characters How I Met Your Mother did. But anyways, this girl, let's call her Sally. I'm not going to use real names because, it's the internet, so beware. But Sally writes me a letter, and she gave it to me on the last day of Oxford, and we had been very close over the summer, a lot of bonding, hooray, and I was just so impressed and so really flattered by her sentiments that she expressed in this letter, and I really treasured it and I really valued it. And because of it, I don't think I'll ever forget as much as I would have from the summer. And so I think that that experience really touched me, and I'm going to try to, pass on the greatness, spread the happiness, spread the fun, great, inspirational, emotion-y things, both through this vlog and through the letters to others. So my challenge, I guess, for today is to really reflect on the people who have changed your lives. And somehow, whether it's through a letter, whether it's you just going up to them and telling them how much you love them, or feel some sort of sense of gratitude to them, whatever your way of doing that is, I would suggest you try it. And it doesn't have to take a long time. If after 15 minutes or 5 minutes of it, you're like, this guy, Akash, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's such a silly idea. It's not helping me at all. Okay, you can stop. Fine. It's not for everyone. But I think it is for a lot of us. And I think it's worth trying. And additionally, I would also encourage people to kind of capture their current being, capture who you are right now in this moment. That's what I'm doing with this vlog. And it doesn't have to be a vlog. It could be a journal, a diary, art, paintings, a song, poetry, anything really that you feel would help you just sort of capture and remember who you are today. And so with that, I think my message for today is pretty complete. Just to tell you how things are going to be coming up in the future, I believe on Thursday you're going to hear from Scott, one of my close friends who I told this idea about. I'm like, hey, let's start a vlog. And instantly when I thought of this idea, I was like, ooh, okay, if I was going to have any partner to vlog with, who would I have? And I was like, Scott would love this. So he's very interesting, very insightful, one of those people who has extremely altered my development as a person. And surely he'll have some wonderful stories for you and some wonderful, profound thoughts and ideas. So, and next week I will be back and have a new video with a new topic of my choice at a whim. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you'd like me to talk about, maybe any criticism, any productive feedback you have, go for it. Or preferably, if you have any further insight on what I was saying about capturing who you are in the now and expressing gratitude to others, maybe you try it out and it worked for you or it didn't, I'd love to hear it. To my 5 viewers. Anyways, ciao world, and have a wonderful, wonderful life and adventure.